No rain predicted for Cape Town today, but then here we are standing in the rain. We've got umbrellas. The rain is coming to rain on our parade. That's how some choose to look at it. But traditionally in Xhosa, in Xhosa culture, whenever it does rain, it's usually considered a bringer of good timings, or good tidings at least, of blossom, of new things. We are appreciative of it at this hour. I am also now joined by the former secretary to the National Assembly during the time when former President Nelson Mandela was in Parliament, Mr. Kasper Hahndiek. Sir, good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, I'm glad to be here.
Right. So tell us a little bit about what you can recall about serving Parliament at the same time as our former president.
Oh, when the new members came in May 1994, they all had to be sworn in, and he was one of the first to come forward to be sworn in. And I had the job of calling out his name, and I wanted to be sure to get it right. So I said Nelson Mandela, and it was important for me that I should pronounce it correctly in honor of the man, even then.
So how was it like? I mean, when you started working with him, what did you observe? Certain things that the public may not have been able to or wasn't exposed to?
The man was extremely modest, and yet, there was a self-effacement, and yet there was a strength. He knew what he was and what role he was meant to play in South Africa, and he played it, but he played it with humility. It was an extraordinary experience.
Personally, what did you take away from it? What have you learned?
I've learned, well, he was a role model for South Africa and it seems for the world, but he was certainly a role model for me as well. I learned so much about what a good human being is through observing his actions and interactions with people.
All right. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate you coming and talking to us. I'd now like to talk to a staff member of Parliament, Mr. Manenge. You guys had a ceremony this morning, a private ceremony for members of parliamentary staff. How was that moment for you?
It was a very good moment, I must say, very much inspiring, especially based on the fact that we are remembering somebody who has managed to influence us irrespective of how far you were from him. But wherever you are in this country, you will feel his impact. So I must say it is something that with all that is been prepared and what we will be doing on Sunday as paying our last respect to the man, one thing that I personally can say, let us send Mandela with great respect, but also not bury what he lived for. It is for us to take care and to make sure that all that he lived for is one thing that we keep to our hearts and grow with it. And to the next as well, let me say, future leaders of this country.
All right, so thank you very much for your time. We really do appreciate it, and thank you for helping us out in the previous interview with the umbrella. Now, I wanted to talk to a family that had been here since about 3 o'clock this morning. Let me see if I can find them. Now, this family, they had been here at Parliament since 3:30 this morning. They stood outside the gate. Unfortunately, it's raining now, and they're taking shelter. I'm not sure if this lady can see me. Here she comes now. This lady. This is her granddaughter. I understand it, but I just want to quickly speak to your grandmother. Hello, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So you guys, as a family, have been here since about 3:30 this morning.
3:30 this morning, yes. We got up at 2 o'clock and we came all the way from Brackenfell to be here to pay our last respects to Madiba.
Why was it important for you to have your grandchildren here as well?
To make history. Yes, for them to, it's some legacy that they can achieve, something like that.
That's fine, ma'am. Thank you very much. And you, young lady, you woke up at 2 o'clock as well?
Yes.
And what does it mean for you to be here today?
Just to pay my last respects to Madiba, just to show him that we still love him and he was a wonderful man and everything, and yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate your commitment and your dedication. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Well, Johannesburg, as you can see, we're standing under the rain. It's really starting to come down now. But I mean, just how inspiring was that story of this last family? This grandmother have traveled over, Brackenfell is probably close on to 20 kilometers from here, and they woke up at 2 o'clock this morning for them to be here, to be able to get in early, to be a part of today and hopefully get their seats. They were telling me earlier on when we were speaking off air that they've already have their tickets and they're now just waiting to be seated. So yeah, except for the rain, everything else has been going pretty well at Parliament today. I think the presiding officers and all the parliamentary staff are rather pleased that things has gone well at least. We can't unfortunately plan for the weather, but in Xhosa culture, and Madiba was a Xhosa man, rain is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, that's it from Parliament at this stage. We hope to speak to you guys a little bit later. Over to you in studio in Johannesburg.